Hello. Today you're going to prepare for our 9/11 dilemma, freedom versus security Socratic seminar, which will be coming up in a class or two. You should already have picked up the Socratic seminar homework sheet that it looks like this here on the screen. Please have that out so that we can review the questions. Remember, Socratic seminar, there is no wrong answer here unless you don't have any facts to back yourself up. And over the next class period, you will be getting plenty of facts. Question A, should the government be able to listen to our phone calls and read our emails as part of their search for terrorist threats? Remember, the government has to keep us safe. To keep us safe, they have to know who is bad and who is good. And how would they know who is bad or who is good unless they listen to our cell phones, calls, and our emails? Or the government should not do that. They're taking away too many of our civil liberties. This is our right to have a phone call that the government doesn't listen to. B, are the loss of American civil liberties worth the safety the extra security measures do provide? For example, are you okay with losing your right of privacy when you're at an airport and you're getting patted down, x-rayed, gamma-rayed, air blown at you and sniffed, and your bag searched and everything like that? Are you willing to allow that loss of freedom for the extra security of knowing that you probably will not die when you get on the airplane? C, should terrorist suspects held at the United States base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, have the same rights as regular prisoners in the United States of America? Go back to the Bill of Rights. A big chunk of the middle of the Bill of Rights are all about the rights that American citizens have as prisoners against the government. You have the right to a jury, you have the right to a lawyer, you have the right to know why you're being put in jail and what crime you are supposed to have committed. You have the right of habeas corpus, which means that you can go in front of a judge and the judge can say yes or no, this person is being held legally or illegally. Okay? So should terror suspects who may or may not be American citizens being held at a United States military base, but that base is in Cuba, not the United States, the same right as regular prisoners in the United States? Last question. Explain which one of the three issues above, so A, B, or C, is the most important to American citizens. So do you think that privacy or having the government listen to your phone calls and emails, is that the most important? Is the extra security measures, losing your civil liberties, is that the most important thing? Or is the fact that the United States government is treating some prisoners in very uncivilized ways, some people would believe, in a place that's not in the United States? Is that right or is that wrong? Which one of those three is the most important? And obviously we're going to need to know why. That's going to be the same thing for A and B and C. You can pick whatever side you want, but you have to be able to explain why in front of the whole class. That's it. That's your homework. Please use the 9/11 dilemma questions and reading, and the questions and readings and arguments that you guys are going to be doing today in class as your facts for answering these questions. Thank you. Okay. As historians, we look to the past to see if there is anything that can help us with our present problems. There are actually three other times in the history of our country where the government, represented by the President of the United States, has had to limit the rights of Americans, or our civil liberties. They did this to try and keep us safe and secure. As you can see, the three events are right here on the picture. Each of these events you will be looking at. You'll be looking at the 1789 Alien Sedition Acts that John Adams signed. You're going to be looking at President Abraham Lincoln getting rid of the writ of habeas corpus in 1861. We're not going to do the sedition rights here, but we are going to do the 1941 to 1945 internment of Japanese Americans. Okay, and we're obviously going to use those other examples to see where we should go with the 9/11 dilemma. Now, there are three events, and each of these three events will need a pro and con argument with details. The way it's going to work is each row in the classroom will get a pro or a con, or will have to make a pro or a con argument for one of these events. Your row will then get time to present three of those arguments, whether they are pro or con, depends on what you have to do, that to support your side. Each row will have less than 2 minutes at the end of class to make this presentation to the rest of the class. All right, because remember, they need to be able to know the pro and con for all three situations or events, because this is going to be something that you're going to be using in your Socratic seminar arguments. All right, remember, by paying close attention to each presentation, you can gather the facts and form opinions that you need for the Socratic seminar homework that you had tonight that's due in our next class.